Hey guys, what's up? Today we'll talk about the norma frontalis. In the norma frontalis, we'll first talk about the bones, then we'll talk about the sutures, the foraminas, the openings, and finally we'll talk about the bony landmarks. So let's talk about the bones related to the norma frontalis. The first bone mentioned here is the mandible. The mandible forms the lower jaw. The zygomatic bone, which is also known as a cheekbone. The middle concha, as well as the inferior concha is mentioned in the interior nasal aperture. These are small bony projection. The frontal bone, which form the forehead, mentioned here in the blue color. The maxilla, which form the upper jaw, mentioned here in the green color. The vomer, and final bone is the nasal bone, which form the nose bridge. This is all about the bones related to the norma frontalis. Let's talk about the sutures. In the sutures, there are about 7 sutures related to the norma frontalis: the frontonasal, frontomaxillary, frontozygomatic, intranasal, nasomaxillary, zygomatico-maxillary, and the final one is intermaxillary suture. Sutures are named according to the two bones that are connecting. In the frontonasal, the frontal and nasal bones are connecting. In the frontomaxillary, the frontal bone is connecting with the maxilla. Frontozygomatic, the frontal bone is connecting with the zygomatic bone. Intranasal is between the two nasal bones of the nose. The nasomaxillary between the nasal bone and the maxilla. The zygomatico-maxillary suture is between the zygomatic bone and the maxilla bone. And the intermaxillary suture is between the two maxillary bones, and later on in life it get disappear. So this is all about the sutures. So let's talk about the foraminas. And the foraminas that are related to the norma frontalis include supraorbital foramina, sometimes look like a notch in the frontal bone. It passes the supraorbital nerve and vessels. The infraorbital foramina is in the maxilla, which passes the infraorbital nerves and vessel. Third one is zygomaticofacial foramina in the zygomatic bone. It passes the zygomaticofacial nerve and vessels. The mental foramina in the mandible, as shown here. Let's talk about the openings that are related to the norma frontalis. The first opening is the orbital opening, having eye. The second opening is for the nose, anterior nasal aperture. And the third opening is the oral opening for the mouth. Let's talk about the bony landmarks. In the bony landmarks, the first thing is the frontal eminence, which is small protuberance on the frontal bone, representing the center of ossification of the frontal bone. Second one is superciliary arches just above the orbit of the eye. The third one is a glabella, small projection on the medial aspect of the superciliary arches in the center. The fourth one is nision, which is a depression at the level of the frontonasal suture. The fifth one is canine eminence, which is formed by the root of the canine teeth. And the sixth one is anterior nasal spine, which is formed by the protuberance of the maxilla at the level of the nose. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe my channel because it will keep me motivated to make such beautiful videos for you.